It's through and a collision, and we are going to have a foul. They're going to say that one is going to go to Indiana United.
Actually, Daisy Garcia from the Raptors down right now. I think that's kind of the confusion there. We saw a little collision going on over there, but early injury, something that you definitely don't like to see at this part of the game.
Yeah, especially early here. So we'll take a quick step away as the trainers deal with that. Hopefully Garcia is all right. You're watching United Women's Soccer here on Clutch Sports Media 815.
Seiler Financial, our family helping your family. Listen to 1440 WROK every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for Navigating Retirement with Drew Seiler. Brian Botcher with Exit Realty. Whether you want to buy or sell, Brian works hard for his clients in Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin. Call 815-378-2170 today. Tonight's game is presented by Brian Falk State Farm. Call Brian at 815-398-2552. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Integrated Home Care Services is celebrating 35 years of caring for our community. Integrated Home Care Services can help you and your loved ones be more independent, safe, and confident in your home. See how we can help by learning more at integratedhc.com.
Busy Beaver Tree Care. For exceptional tree services second to none, Busy Beaver Tree Care is your best option. We're a local, family-owned and operated business founded in 2003. We're not satisfied until you are. Waterside Financial Advisors is teaming up with the Guilford Vikings to bring you more than just a game. Get ready to shoot for your goals as they provide independent financial guidance.
And we are back here live. Apologies for some of the audio difficulties. We should be live here now. Dirk Ruiz alongside Trevor Larson here on tonight's call between the Rockford Raptors FC and Indiana United. Last play was a foul down towards the end line, and Daisy Garcia for the Rockford Raptors out with an injury. Hopefully she's okay. Mackenzie Alvarez checking in for her. Good physical play here on the sideline by number 7, Gracie LePage, as he steals that one away. Rockford gets a turnover as they have an opportunity to push the ball on offense.
It looked like from the start a little 4-1-2-3 coming out from the Raptors, so look for the emphasis coming on those wins. We're already seeing a lot of activity here on the right side coming in from LePage, not so much down to the far end so far, maybe a little bit more defense, but continuous pressure now being applied here by Indiana United. Something we saw right off the rip was their ability to just be able to contain the ball in the back and play a lot of possession.
A couple of turnovers going back and forth as Rockford comes away with it. Played it back through. LePage has it. We've called her name. Kicks it down to the wing to Caesar. Looking to cross it. That one blocked away. Coming back towards the sideline. Caesar pressured by 2 defenders down there. Plays it through as that one is going to go across the touchline, and it'll be a goal kick. Looking for Harvey. Made a good run, just couldn't quite keep up with it. A little bit too much pace on that through ball right there.
Doing a good job of trying to work out like the triangles of being able to get through it. Again, it's a lot of the pressure being applied. Obviously, Indiana United started off with the ball. We saw a lot more on the far side of the field. They were working some things around. We had the stoppage in play. But from that point on, hey, you could just tell game plan right off the rip. It's going down here on the right side. And we'll have to see how this pressure kind of keeps up for Raptors FC.
The Raptors really playing high and tight here tonight. They are really pushing up. Just one center back behind the center line here as they try to get a turnover, and they do. LePage has it again, fires that one in, but blocked away. Chasing it towards the sideline. Raptors going to retain possession as they play it back towards the middle. Dirk, so far, Raptors looking like they are on the front foot. Indiana coming out a little bit tentative. Might be a result of that extended warm-up that the Raptors had to start off this game. Of course, Indiana being the road team, a couple of their players and their head coach weren't here as soon as I'm sure they would have liked. So a little bit of rust that Indiana is trying to shake off here in the early minutes.
The Raptors are going through the ringer right off the rip. I think it was almost honestly like an hour before the game even started, too. But you get to see the workaround with the pressure. Just looking like a little bit more of the fresh team, as you would expect, right? You've played a game already in this league. You've had the warm-ups going in your favor.
That one's going to go out, and it's going to be another ball towards Indiana United, as, again, the forwards for the Rockford Raptors really putting the pressure on. We've seen a number of times that both LePage and Caesar have put pressure on the ball and forced turnovers in the offensive end, as that one can't be corralled. Pass intended for number 12, Charlene Mendoza. But again, another throw in here for the Raptors in the offensive half of the field. As Dirk, it really feels like a goal is coming here soon for the Raptors if they keep up this offensive pressure.
It's all about that relentless pressure, and you're seeing it right now again. It's been funneled down here from the moment that we talked about this game started, from LePage working out there on the right wing and making sure to get the runs in and try to get them into more advantageous opportunities. But now we're seeing a little bit more of the ability to work in through the middle, something that we haven't seen so far in this game.
Long shot that time, but not enough pace to challenge the goalkeeper for Indiana United. She comes away with it, no issues. And this one's going to be fired towards the midway point of the field. Fought for, and it's going to be controlled by the Raptors as they play it back now. Not seeing quite as much pressure on offense here for Indiana United. We do see their striker and a couple of their midfielders. As I say that, a turnover. Good play that time. Schaefer tries to play that one through the middle. But the Raptors are going to come away with it for another offensive opportunity. This one's going to be sent through to Hahn. Hahn looking for a shot as she is going to get clipped from behind, and they're going to say no call. So just good physical play towards the box. Of course, we can't quite see where the edge of the penalty box is, but good defense that time to avoid both picking up a penalty, but also to get that turnover.
I mean, so far going through the repetition on the defensive end for Indiana United, just being able to stuff a lot of the opportunities. Those are always hard ones to judge too, right? You have the defender on the hip, and if you're the goalie in that scenario, it's like you want to come out and try to smother and put a lot more pressure on, but luckily the defender is able to just squeak a foot right in there to be able to stop that entirety of that play.
8 minutes in here to the ball game. One shot on goal for Rockford, as a good play this time by Indiana United. Here is number 2. That is Olivia Enyart going down the left wing, trying to look for a cross. Now she sends it through. They're looking to get that one centered. No dice. And it's going to be Rockford FC ball.
When you're in the cleats and you're on the sideline sometimes, a little slippery. Someone took a little crash there.
Now here's Rockford. Now Indiana putting on some good pressure in the offensive end as they try to get a scoring opportunity. This one centered on a table but cleared out by Rockford. As Hahn able to play that one to the wing. So another turnover around midfield. Munoz has it, fighting for the ball. She's able to keep this one, play it off to Catcher. Morgan Catcher for Indiana United. Her sister Shannon plays on the team as well. Good tiki-taka for Indiana United. This one comes out to number 2, Olivia Enyart. Tries to hit the give and go, but a good play in the midfield as a through ball down to LePage. She's got an opportunity. Goalkeeper comes out, gets the ball, and we're going to have a call here. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick opportunity here for Rockford, and that is in scoring range. And we've seen a couple of players for Rockford Raptors take some shots from outside that yard box. And if you're LePage, it looks like she might be setting up to score right here. Excuse me, that's Parnello.
Well, at least now we have a good judgment of where the 18-yard line is from our bird's eye view, because I thought initially when they went through and they got that stop, I was, you know, you try to look like, why isn't the goalie using her hands in that scenario? Obviously going out there outside the 18, but definitely the ultimate scoring position that you want to go through. We saw in the warm-ups the capability of a lot of them hitting some of these long shots, but easier said than done.
4 players in the line here for Indiana United. Brooke Parnell lining up to take this free kick. This one's going to be low, and it is going to be in. Good, strong strike inside the line for Indiana United. Kept it low on the ground and gets past the goalkeeper as Brooke Parnello nets one, and the Rockford Raptors are up 1-0 after 10.5 minutes here in the ball game.
See, those are always the sneaky ones, right? I feel like a lot of people, when you have the wall set up, you're anticipating that ball being lobbed right over top. If you look where the goalie was positioned compared to where the wall was, you're actually going low and to the left. That blocks the goalie's view. They kind of have to be a step ahead of the play to be able to get down that low and be able to stop that. So must have seen something in the read of the wall. I mean, that's not something that you go out there and envision doing.
Dirk, we talked about it. We kind of felt the goal coming for the Raptors as they were really putting on good offensive pressure. And 10:33 into the ball game. Brooke Parnello nets it, and a good, strong kick. We could hear it. We're, 50 yards away, but I could hear that strike as soon as her foot connected, and really no chance for the goalkeeper with the placement in the bottom left corner of the net.
Sometimes with the select soccer balls, too, they sound like they hurt when you kick them. And I've experienced they do, especially when they're pumped up to where they're supposed to be. So I don't envy when somebody has to put their body on the line of the ball. It's going to end up getting slapped around there. Gets a little vicious. But to your point of when you brought up that, the constant pressure just over time throughout the game, you saw within the first 10 minutes how many opportunities that they had. But it looks like Indiana's starting to cook something up.
They got the ball towards the center. Now they're going to play it down to the left wing. That is number 12, Charlene Mendoza, and too much pace on that one. So an opportunity gone by the wayside as Raptors are going to take over here following the goal kick.
I mean, now like you've started off like this, you're in the perfect position to where you can play a little bit more possession if you want to. I mean, I think everybody's usually a fan of keeping your foot on the gas and making it, try to force the hand back into their way. You get that extra goal, you get even more cushion. The one adjustment that I'm seeing now from Indiana, I don't know if it's because the goal was scored, we're just seeing a lot more pressure being applied now instead of allowing them to operate in a lot of those central spaces.
And again, we talked about it. Again, not a big warm-up, a bit of an abbreviated warm-up for Indiana United, so perhaps kicking off some of that rust here about 12.5 minutes into the game here this evening. Again, if you're just joining us, Brooke Parnello with the goal, 10:33 in the first half. As Rockford Raptors FC lead it 1-0. Here's a good opportunity as LePage looking to keep to the ball. A back runner, Hahn, making a good run towards the far post. And we're going to have another great tackle down towards the net. As we've seen two of those here, Dirk. Good defensive discipline to not pick up the foul, although the free kick a couple of minutes ago did lead to that goal.
And it's a couple of risks that you take anytime that you try to go to the ground, especially when you're inside the box. But when it's set up in prime position, especially with the ball was a little bit further out from her feet, so you can go ahead and take one of those risks. And, I like how it's being ref, too. You always have to give credit in those type of scenarios because of how close things can get. I mean, even one with the goalie right there, it almost seemed like it looked clean from our perspective, but I'm wondering if there was maybe a hand that ended up touching the ball at some point, maybe just not a recognition of where the 18-yard box was. But you always do have to be cautious. Set pieces are a thing, especially when you get them in from that close.
Here's Naskrant centering this one. Nothing doing there, and cleared out by Enyart. Looking to make a run was Amaris Gonzalez. A little bit too heavy of a touch as the Raptors are going to control. This one going to be centered into the middle. Looking up to set the through ball. Good idea that time, just on the wrong page as LePage, pardon the pun.
I got mine in at the very beginning. Now you got yours.
Again, tonight's game here on Clutch Sports Media brought to you by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry, and Movement Fitness. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on this Saturday evening. Dirk Ruiz and Trevor Larson on tonight's call. Rockford Raptors lead at 1-0 here. 14:35 down in the first half. This one's going to be turned over. Dirk, we see a lot of soccer games here and there. I'm sure if you're watching tonight, you're a big fan of the sport. But high pace here tonight on both sides as both teams playing really with good work rates.
Yeah, like we were coming in just like having some questions of what level are we going to see. I mean, you start to throw the word semi-pro development out there, you're going to start to see people playing with a lot more intensity, and I think it's kind of living up to the billing of probably what people would expect from these type of scenarios. I mean, one team starts playing hard, it's automatically going to bring the competitive aspect out from another.
LePage looking for it, and that one looks like it's going to be a handball. Just a wrong spot for Kovar. As coaches for Rockford Raptors, we can hear them in the background. They're really pushing for their players to push the ball up. Here's Henry. Henry trying to get out. I was going to play this one back. Good defense that time by Indiana United, but still a great opportunity. This one a long shot, and that one just sails a little bit high. Excellent strike that time.
Parnello trying to double up, trying to captivate us. The first one already did, but if that one would have sailed in, man.
You can tell why Parnello is the free kick taker for Rockford Raptors FC. She just blasted that one. As now we got a couple of balls on the field as there's a little bit of confusion from the referee, getting that sorted. And now they'll reset and they'll play with the one that went past the touchline. They got another good offensive opportunity for the Rockford Raptors, as this one's going to come our way. Nice play in the air that time by Caesar. Indiana United able to keep this one in, trying to set something up. An aggressive play as they get that one to midfield. Amaris Gonzalez has this one, but it's turned over. A couple of heavy touches by the midfielders here for Indiana United have slowed down some offensive attack opportunities. Seen a couple of good ones, but if they're going to stay in this ball game, they're going to need to start controlling the ball a little bit better as it crosses over the midline. Another long ball for the Rockford Raptors. Dirk, we've seen that quite a bit here this evening. Number of long balls. Again, not traditionally something that you see at lower levels of play, but as you mentioned, you know, with the semi-professional league, we're really seeing some excellent ball skills by a lot of players here this evening.
Well, I like the setup that they have, too. Pacey wingers, and then the striker up top, Hahn. A lot of physicality when that ball's up in the air, winning a lot of those aerial battles. So you can see the game plan and the intent. This is another thing where Rockford Raptors have thrived so far is on the counterattack.
Good idea that time by the Raptors, but LePage a couple of steps offsides that time. Good play setup, you know, that kind of give and go opportunity.
Yeah.
LePage, we've seen her play with great pace on the right wing here this evening, as she was just a couple of steps ahead of the last defender, so it's going to be offsides.
Well, it's interesting, too, because I mentioned with 25 with Hahn up top, it's like they're floating a lot of balls up, but she's also playing like almost a false nine role and dropping back in some instances and being a little bit more of a playmaker. A lot of the counters have ended up funneling through her, making that extra pass. That's the first one that we've seen offsides. I mean, the other two that she's had so far in this game, they have led to opportunities to where at least they've been able to progress into the opposite 18.
Here's LePage at midfield. She beats her defender, tries to go low post. Had a runner that time, but not enough pace to beat the goalkeeper that time. Good idea by LePage. Just couldn't get enough behind it as the Indiana United's going to take over. More good pressure here by Rockford Raptors forwards, as this is going to be another turnover at midfield. Raptors have even numbers, 5-on-5. This one can be crossed into the box. A header, just a glancing blow by Harvey. Couldn't quite get the aerial. Of course, she had the defender on her hip that time.
And I'm liking a lot of the ideas with the opportunities that they're getting too. I mean, when you're up, of course, like you're just going to continuously just trying to go at them in every which way. One of these crosses at some point is going to end up capitalizing. There's going to be somebody who's going to find their way because there's a significant hole in some of those. And, of course, you have to factor in the aspect, too. If the defenders are taking the gambles and are not getting the timing down right, it's going to put the keeper in a bad position. It's going to put the rest of the defenders in a bad position. And they've already showed us that they're not scared, really, anybody out here on the pitch right now to take a shot.
Another play here on the right wing. Seen a lot of action towards us as this one's going to go over the touchline. Going to stay with Indiana United. Emily Kovar going to take the throw in. Seen her have a couple of throw-ins here this evening. Once again, Gracie LePage here on the right wing has been probably the most active player in tonight's ball game. She has touched it on just about every offensive opportunity here for the Raptors.
It's so crucial when you're in a formation like this that your right back and also the right wing are on the same page the way they're moving. We're seeing Cisa and LePage constantly like playing off each other, making some of the overlapping runs. Of communication's been really on point. It's a nice little duo that they have over here on the right.
Here's Indiana United looking for an attack. This one going to be drilled, but Not the best touch. This one now, it's going to go off the head. Centering pass here. Here's Indiana United with an opportunity. Ball comes to the feet, and a shot. Looks like that might have been deflected. Kelly Coughlin took that one. I think that went off of the center back's foot. And
they're calling goal kick.
I guess they're going to say it did not, so we are expecting a corner. Instead, it's going to be a goal kick here for the Raptors. Again, they lead it 1-0 here. 21 minutes into tonight's ball game. Good play in the midfield by Enyart, trying to keep this one in the offensive zone here for Indiana United. Play this one back. Catcher, as that one's going to be grabbed. Really no contest that time for the goalkeeper. And now Raptors have an opportunity to push this one up, starting from the back line. Dangerous pass. Good pressure that time by the striker for Indiana United. A long time before the touch came from the goalkeeper. Bit of an interesting play that time for the Raptors.
Yeah, I mean, now you're starting to see, right, with more of the pressure now being applied again from Indiana United. It puts you in some of those situations, right? The first thing when you pick your head up, you're looking. I mean, in that instance, if you're the goalie, you either just have to get rid of it or you just have to, kick it out of play, force them into a throw like you just ended up seeing right there. Because if they keep on trailing the goalie, that's going to put you even in a more worse spot. So it's kind of just take your loss at that point and just get set up.
Centers this one to Castaneda. Indiana United keeps looking to get this one down towards the right wing. Alanis Gonzalez, and this one's going to go high and wide. A aggressive opportunity that time by the center back, and it's going to be another goal kick here for the Raptors as Gorkowski lines this one up.
That's what they were calling for, too. I think it's just trying to get more shots, get them more up there and some volume as well. Just because right now you're having a lot of success when you're pressuring off the goal kick. So if we want to just buy a ticket for the raffle, we can go out there, maybe we score, maybe we force them into that situation and try to keep them pinned in. But you just got to be cautious of this, as the counterattacking ability of the Raptors right now has really been on another level in this game.
Yeah, shots are always a good thing to get, as Castaneda tried to win that one back, but more good play here by the back line for the Rockford Raptors. We've seen both their center backs as well as their midfielders really play a key point in here tonight's ball game. This one on the left wing, a good run down the middle by Parnello. Now tries to center this one back to number 25, Geneva Hahn. Nothing doing that time. And it's going to be cleared out by Indiana United. An opportunity for a counterattack. Here is Amaris Gonzalez. Good defense that time down on the right wing by Nascarant. As this one's going to be cleared out by the Raptors. Dirk, it looked like Gonzalez might have had a step at the outset, but Nascarant with good pace on the defensive side of the ball, and she was able to force a closure of that offensive opportunity.
It all started, Pinello on the back end, when she started getting aggressive and pushing. I saw her calling it out that there was a wide open gap. If they would have played that more direct through ball to Gonzalez, maybe we see a different outcome there. But Paul didn't have enough gas on it, so it just kind of stopped right at the feet and then forced you in a position you have to turn to get back and then be able to recover. Those are situations you have to try to capitalize on every single time. And now you're seeing another out-of-position shift here, and now Emily Kovar is the one leading the charge.
This one's going to be played through down the wing to Enyart. And what's going to be the call here? It's going to be another goal kick. There it looks like at some opportunities the Indiana United squad is trying to play for some corners, but every time that we have seen them get down here and try to play it off a defender, the Raptors defenders have had good positioning, and they are able to force goal kicks here this evening.
Yeah, I heard a shout from some of the spectators saying corner, but from our perspective, there was no corner there. I promise that. But you are starting to see a little bit more, kind of establishing your rhythm. You had a heavy push over towards the right side. You almost had to force the right back to more play in towards the central area, and then that left a big opening, and that's where it can be key for Indiana United for them to be able to push back into this game.
Again, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry and Movement Fitness, And again, couldn't be more thrilled to have you join us here on this Saturday evening for United Women's Soccer between the Rockford Raptors FC and Indiana United here at Mercy Health Sports Core 2 in Loves Park, Illinois. A couple of substitutions again here for the Raptors. We'll get to those in just a moment, as this one's going to go off the end line, so another goal kick. Isabella Goretz coming into the ball game, as well as Anaya Schaefer. Jada Harvey and Mackenzie Pierce checking out. Good depth on both of these squads here tonight, so I'm sure that's not going to be the last set of substitutions that we're going to see for the Raptors. And we got a couple of players lining up for Indiana United as well.
Well, it looks like, too, with some of the changes that they made with Schaefer coming in, they've actually pushed Parnello up into, it almost looks like a center attacking mid-roll. We've seen how aggressive she's been offensively as well. So maybe that could work out some good things for the Raptors. And again, it's all about versatility at this stage. Your ability to be able to move from left back, to be able to also get put into the midfield and then be sprung onto the attack from your team can really work wonders for the coaching staff to be able to have that ability.
Good intercepting play that time by Garabi, but the Raptors defenders able to win the ball back. Like she was pining for a foul. No call by the referee. This one's going to be cleared out by the goaltender, Mackenzie Lorkowski. Here's Rockford with an opportunity down the right wing. Another good through ball. LePage has got the pace as she's looking to center this one. Looking for a cross. This one's going to be thrown in, and that one almost put into the net by number 17, Alyssa Dillinger. Lucky that time that's not an own goal. Now we're going to have a corner here for the Raptors, the first corner of the ballgame.
Again, in those situations, they've had a lot of success with the crosses, at least on being able to advance them and make it a little bit more of a scoring threat. I mean, that would have been unfortunate for that one. I mean, you saw, too, like kind of the angle to clear it out. You always want to try to be facing the ball, make sure it hit out that way. Body was actually turned to the goal there in that scenario. So, luckily for them, when it hit off the foot, it just kind of rolled by the side.
It's going to be an in-swinging corner. Good, strong strike, and LePage tried to get that one out of midair. Swing and a miss, but can't blame her for trying. It would have been an exciting goal if she was able to connect. Good set play that time for the Raptors. Saw a good set play earlier in the first half. Again, the goal coming by Brooke Parnello, 10.5 minutes into the game. As Rockford Raptors lead 1-0. We're just about 30 minutes into this match here this evening.
We really haven't had to see a whole lot of actually like ball being played at the feet and then just taking it into more traditional shots. I mean, everything coming off of crosses, of course, on the set piece that they ended up scoring from. Kind of shows you, I mean, those are two very hard things to try to master, the art of the cross and the set piece. So if you're good at those, I mean, you end up becoming that triple threat. We've seen a couple like long shot tries, nothing too serious though.
It's like Shannon Catcher and Iberia Munoz going to come into the ball game for Indiana United.
Wonder how this changes up play now too, because Han just went out. We had mentioned she had the size up top. To where now you put in a smaller striker in Reese. How that's going to maybe change the dynamic? Is it still going to be, obviously you kind of lose that aerial threat, but maybe the ball at the feet, you get a little bit more consistency there too with the ability to play make.
A play here to LePage as she turns, gets a good touch. She's trying to beat Kovar. A lot of good battles for those two here this evening. They get a little bit tangled up, no foul called, just good, hard soccer right there.
I love when everything goes on cue, when you start hyping somebody up and you're saying about their playmaking ability and almost leads to something. It's the small victories we have to take as broadcasters.
Going to have another corner here for the Raptors. It's going to be their second of the evening. They have taken both of the corners in the ball game. Nothing yet for Indiana United. This one swung in by Parnello. Again, that good, powerful right-footed strike. Led to a goal earlier, had a couple of opportunities to score, both on a long shot as well as that corner. This one controlled for a moment by Reese. Indiana United going to take this one away as they have another opportunity to counterattack as their forwards start pushing here. This one going down to Amaris Gonzalez, and a great play that time on defense. Almost taken back away. still fought for, and finally the Raptors come out of it with this one. Now they have an opportunity to counterattack. Reese drilling this one down to LePage. Has the touch on her feet, waiting for her teammates, setting up the cross. Now throws this one in and didn't quite get the angle on it. You can see she put her hands on her head. And she was trying to angle that one back a couple of feet, try to curl it in a little bit further. Instead hits the frame of the net, and it'll be a goal kick here for Indiana United.
Yeah, if that was an attempt on that, that's one of the hardest shots that you can try to hit, like trying to drill it up to that same upper 90. Equally as a goalkeeper, kind of hard to get, but the accuracy has to be on point, but the angle just really wasn't there.
Caesar trying a shot, a little bit of a knuckleball, but
good. The little knuckle dip.
Good play that time by the goalkeeper. Cool, and collected. Scoop that one off the second bounce. There's some miscommunication on that last goal kick that led to that opportunity. But no harm, no foul. And Rockford's going to play this one a little bit more methodically as they're still looking for a long ball. LePage trying to make a run up top. Looks like Indiana holding a bit of a higher line here. Great ball through to Reese as she centers it back. And again, cleared out by Indiana United. As, once again, they are trying for the counterattack. They've had some opportunities, Dirk, but nothing has come to fruition as of yet. They have played well on that counterattack. I think they keep this up. We might be looking up here. Perhaps not in the first half, but the second half, I think they have a good opportunity to net at least one goal here in tonight's ballgame the way they've been playing.
The thing, too, right, to properly execute.
As we got a great ball here through to Reese, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and just misses it. Cleared out by the goalkeeper, and Indiana United catches a break. That was almost a sure goal, as now they have an opportunity to counterattack.
One of the hardest things to do as a keeper, one-on-one scenarios exactly like that. I mean, that's like just the toe on it. That's how crucial that was to be able to get that stop. It was almost going to result in the goal on the other end. But to the point of the counterattacks too, right? When you're trying to get a fluid counter going, you can't play it to the feet of the striker. You have to catch them in rhythm right into space and send those balls over. That's something that they haven't been able to do so far. You'll see each time that we've called it out for Gonzalez up top, the ball's going right to her feet instead of a pass being led through.
There's a good opportunity here. About 33 minutes into tonight's ball game. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media 815 for our first non-high school broadcast of the season. Here on this fabulous June afternoon, turning into a great evening here on the state line. Rain is cleared up. Might be able to see it here in some of the corners. The garage doors that are open. But some great sunlight here as we head towards the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, it's lucky that we were inside. I mean, it did clear up a little bit, but on my drive up here, I was getting just hammered with rain nonstop. But that's the good part when you have a state-of-the-art facility like this.
It's like number 7 for Indiana United. Naya Bajarno is going to check in. Number 12 coming out, Charlene Mendoza. Number 15 as well, Satali Perez coming in for Alanis Gonzalez. It's going to be thrown in by Kovar and played our way. Nice play that time by the referee to stop that one from going out of bounds.
Actually, it would have went out of bounds and out of the building.
Here's Kovar and LePage again. Another good battle, and we're going to have a whistle from the referee. I'm going to say that she just kind of ripped through. You see that a lot of times in basketball where you're trying to get by your defender. You just kind of hook your elbow, try to throw their torso back. That one a little bit too aggressive with the upper body. No card, of course, just a routine foul here.
Yeah, it's just like it's standard, right, when you're playing that physical, trying to get around, just like the little wrap. I've actually been doing it a couple times this game. Nothing's really been called, but you just want to make sure that the whole point when you're doing that, make sure the elbow never connects first. If that, then that's when you see a whole different story there being played by the refs.
Things have slowed up here. Both teams trying to catch their breath for just a brief moment. As Rockford Raptors going to win this one back. Get another push here on offense. But a heavy touch and now turned over once again. Henry has this one. Looking for a forward. As Parnello thought about putting that one on target, and a great pass that time by LePage. Parnello just couldn't quite get the left foot on it. It's another good offensive opportunity. And Raptors still alive here. Another shot.
The possession right now, just the pressure is just, it's getting a little crazy going down the stretch. I mean, we're probably looking at 10-plus minutes of this ball just being really on this half. I think the only threat was the last time when the goalie was just able to secure it. They immediately started to get their play going. Another set piece, but the difference is it's probably 10 yards further back from where the last one was when they scored.
Parnello's going to have another opportunity, and she has not been shy about trying to drill this one as she get clipped from behind that time by Shannon Catcher. So we'll see if she's going to try to go at goal once again. Indeed she will. That one high and just a little bit too high that time, as she almost was able to sneak that one in under the crossbar. Of course, playing full-size nets here. At the top of the net, that's a real tough position for even professional goalkeepers. And if she was able to get that one down just a couple of feet, we would be looking at a 2-0 ball game. Instead, it'll be Indiana and Rockford. Still 1-0 in favor of the Raptors. A couple more minutes here before the end of the first half, as we're 37 minutes in.
That free kick looked like it was starting to dip, too. Dare I say, if it was even further back, maybe actually on target there.
And if you're just joining us, one goal here in the ball game by Brooke Parnello, coming 10:33 into the first half of play. So it's going to be played up the right wing our way. Pressured from behind, but a good run that time, and no call. Looks like there should have been a foul over here. Don't think the ref saw it. A good pace to recover on defense by Nascarent.
I think they were a little bit too focused on like the upwards play to look at the collision there, but a little significant.
That'll be a Rockford ball as that one goes out of the sideline. They're throwing it in. And thank you for joining us here as tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry, and Movement Fitness. Again, United Women's Soccer here as we have a very aggressive tackle that time, and we're going to have a card, our first card of the ball game. That one goes towards Morgan Catcher as she was not too happy with the referee. Neither was Parnella as she went down.
What are they called in American football? Is horse collaring? A little pull of the jersey from the backside. You know, that's what happens, right? When a team starts to establish their rhythm, they have more possession, your frustration starts to build up. The more competitive aspect of the game starts to really shine.
On a long ball sent in, so they try to play that one just a little bit too much pace. Seeing a number of long balls as we've talked about. That one, they tried to get that one over the top of the defenders. But a bit of unusual, you know, a little bit too much pace as you start the free kick from the half line. And your strikers aren't able to catch up. That's when you know you've really got some powerful legs on the back line for your center backs. Now resetting here, Indiana, as there's going to be a foul near midfield. Get your number in just a moment. Looks like she caught her from behind. Looks like that's going to go against number 6, Ava Reese. No card that time.
It's your normal flow of a soccer game as it starts to progress on. You start to see the referee get involved just a tad bit more. Already saw a couple more whistles than really what we've seen from the entire stretch of the game.
Indiana trying to get another push here before the end of the half, trying to go into halftime tied. Rockford trying to play on the counterattack here. They'd love to go in 2-0 at halftime. And some back and forth turnovers on the far sideline. Eventually Rockford comes away with this one. Got an opportunity. Schaefer running down the left sideline. Now plays it back. Perhaps mishit that time by Elizabeth Magnon. Not quite sure who she was targeting, but we've got a good opportunity here for Indiana if they can catch up. They cannot. Bajarno trying to keep up with that ball, but Nascarent just a little bit too quick. Seeing her really have some of those great sprints coming back in the counterattack opportunities, as she has shut down a number of them here this evening. Now Rockford coming back. The counterattack, and just a little bit too heavy of a touch that time on the far wing. So we're going to have a throw in for Indiana United.
Seeing more on the far side of the pitch, kind of as what these past like 15, 20 minutes, give or take, have kind of gone on. But I mean, that's the thing. Caesar LePage over on this side, they've from the jump, they've continued to play. And it's at a very high pace, too. We've seen more of the substitutions be focused more on the left side than the right. Not sure if that's part of the strategy. Maybe just trying to get fresh legs in that area.
I will say, for our perspective, it's always a little bit more excited when it's on the near side of the pitch.
Yeah.
So we've seen a number of that here early in the ball game. Really, Gracie LePage and Emily Kovar have had a number of good opportunities as, again, those two meet towards the ball.
We're starting to memorize names on this side. I'm starting to gather that. I'm not having to look at my sheet as much anymore.
Yeah, those two players really have been involved here this evening. Both of them playing with great pace, one on offense, one on defense. We've seen LePage make a number of runs. He's going to be taken away at midfield by Parnello, trying to play a through ball. This one's going to be picked up by LePage with a light touch, able to shrug off Kovar. Now a shot, and she's going to touch the post. A great left-footed strike from point blank. Got it by the goalkeeper, couldn't keep it inside the target, and it goes out behind the touchline, and we're going to have a goal kick here for Indiana United.
I've always wanted to say this. Sometimes the post is your best friend as a goalkeeper. It kind of showed right there. It's interesting now because Indiana United, they're going with more sweeper heavy now too. That's why LePage was able to stay on side throughout there, and honestly, the patience was perfection. Playing on the right side, showing the ability to use both feet now throughout this game, which is another crucial part.
Couple of turnovers here on the right side of the pitch here from our perspective in the broadcast area. And 43 minutes down in the first half, just a couple more before halftime. Both teams trying to net one here before we go into the half. Rockford would love to go up 2-0. An aggressive slide tackle, and the ball was won, but Rockford's going to come away with it. So we've seen a lot of turnovers here at midfield in the past 30 seconds. Catcher tries to turn and play that one through. It's too heavy on the touch that time. Got about a minute left, plus some stoppage time here in the first half. Rockford looking to make one final push here before halftime. Here's Parnello looking downfield as she has done often here. Got a run towards the backside. Great ball over to Caesar, who couldn't quite control it, just too strong with the touch that time. She could have played it a little shorter. She had some opportunities opening up in the middle of the field. But luckily for Indiana United, it is a turnover instead, and they have an opportunity to clear it.
And Parnell's been the one kind of stealing the show so far here in this match. Started off with the left back, scored the free kick. You're seeing the ability now to work in the middle and the holding play and the patience. If something's not there, the ability to be able to turn back around and start to get everybody involved, trying to work out the switches. Kind of picking them apart over here towards the middle. That's where you're seeing the true vulnerability. Those passes always go from the middle out to the wings.
Kovar has this one. Now going to play it back towards the center as an aggressive run almost leads to disaster. Reese really playing aggressively that time. Indiana now has an opportunity with a counterattack. Another turnover, and now Rockford has an opportunity with a counterattack. It's been back and forth all first half here this evening. No official score clock up here in the game. We have it at 45 minutes, so depends on the referee's clock. We might be into stoppage time. We'll see when they blow for halftime.
Yes, they factor in, but we had a couple stops. The injury at the beginning probably took the most, so maybe a couple minutes potentially being added on here.
It's going to be played back towards the goalkeeper as they're playing a little bit of keep away here towards the end of the first half. Trying not to let anything go too heavy as they don't want to concede before halftime. Got a turn and run now here for Indiana United. Play back towards the middle. An opportunity. That one high and punched over. But Jarno almost put that one in, but a great play on the back line by Lorkowski. And
offsides was called.
Yeah, they're going to say offsides on the far side. A great strike, all for naught. And she must have been a step, maybe two offsides. Again, a little bit tough to get the angle from our perspective here in the broadcast area.
Had to have been a close one.
But, Dirk, that's really been the first good opportunity for Indiana United in the past 10, 15 minutes, as Rockford has really just kind of taken control of this game here in the back half of the first half. A physical play towards the midfield that time, as LePage and Kovar both get tangled up. So a shoulder by LePage, now getting a bit of a talking to, saying no more of that here as we go on.
She's the one who set the tone really from the jump with the physical play too. So again, as it starts to go on, good job there on the ref to be able to just pull them aside. Like, okay, that's your first official warning. Next one that we see, that's probably where we're going to start to see the yellow cards play a factor.
And that is going to be it for the first half of action. So high pace, lots of energy by both squads. One goal coming in favor of Rockford Raptors FC. Brooke Parnello netted that one. Had a number of shots on goal as well. Dirk, your thoughts on that first half?
I like the intensity and kind of like the switch up. At the beginning, it was definitely, I think, Rockford setting the pace truly in the game. We saw the adjustments being made there by Indiana United after the first goal was scored there by Pinero on the set piece. I like the intensity and how much more pressure that they're starting to get. There was like a 15 to 20-minute stretch where the ball was on the right side and constantly going at Indiana United over and over again. But you just started to see the little bit more pressure that we saw being applied here, going down the stretch, going to the extra time that we ended up seeing in the game too. So still anybody's game. I don't consider anything safe, especially, with that close opportunity that was ended up whistled there offside. That's the best look that they had. I mean, it was offside. You can invalidate it completely, but you get the chance to take a little bit more of a break now, try to see if you have some substitutes that you could try to work out with, because now you're starting to see some holes in both sides.
So after the first half, again, Rockford Raptors up on top of Indiana United 1-0. We'll take a break for a halftime. We'll get back to you with all of the exciting second half action here on Clutch Sports Media 815. Again, you're watching United Women's Soccer presented by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, more dentistry and movement fitness.
Brian Botcher with Exit Realty. Whether you want to buy or sell, Brian works hard for his clients in Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin. Call 815-378-2170 today. D1 Training Rockford. Try their Rockford training facility for free. Call 815-569-5630 to learn more. Train different with D1. 9 Iron Belvedere. Enjoy a virtual golfing experience all winter long for solo practice sessions, business gatherings, or date night. 9 Iron. Golf, game, gather. Busy Beaver Tree Care. For exceptional tree services second to none, Busy Beaver Tree Care is your best option. We're a local, family-owned and operated business founded in 2003. We're not satisfied until you are. Waterside Financial Advisors is teaming up with the Guilford Vikings to bring you more than just a game. Get ready to shoot for your goals as they provide independent financial guidance for the life you want to live. Elevate your game both on and off the court with reliable financial guidance from Waterside Financial Advisors. Go Vikings! Tonight's game is presented by Brian Falk State Farm. Call Brian at 815-398-2552. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Rockford Lightning, Rockford's first semi-pro women's basketball team. Stay up to date on team news on their Instagram and Facebook feeds. Seiler Financial, our family helping your family. Listen to 1440 WROK every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for Navigating Retirement with Drew Seiler.
I think one of the special things about D1 is it's not about D1's goal. It's about your goal. Wherever you're at, whatever that goal is, maybe it's to make the high school team, maybe it's to lose 20 pounds, whatever it is, you show up, you tell us your goal, and let us help you get there. One of the themes at D1 is to level up. No matter where you are, our heart is to help you take the next step. What would be your goal? Why do you show up to train?
Personally, I would like to play football.
How can you get 1% better today?
Just beat the person next to me, be myself every day.
When you show up here, if you have that mindset of, hey, I got a goal, I'm going to embrace the grind, and I would rather experience the pain of discipline than the pain of regret. So what is D1 5-star training? Number one, it starts with a dynamic warm-up. They're getting our body in the position, in the place we need it so that we can perform, which is number two. Because performance for an athlete is king. But our effort is 90% or more of whatever exercise we were doing. Number three is strength. Then we get to really get into the weight room and focus on the strength. And number four is core and conditioning. For me, conditioning is not a lot about what you can do. It's about that place that you're willing.
Seiler Financial, our family helping your family. Listen to 1440 WROK every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for Navigating Retirement with Drew Seiler. The Rockford Lightning, Rockford's first semi-pro women's basketball team. Stay up to date on team news on their Instagram and Facebook feeds. Brian Botcher with Exit Realty. Whether you want to buy or sell, Brian works hard for his clients in Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin. Call 815-378-2170 today. D1 Training Rockford. Try their Rockford training facility for free. Call 815-569-5630 to learn more. Train different with D1. 9 Iron Belvedere. Enjoy a virtual golfing experience all winter long for solo practice sessions, business gatherings, or date night. 9 Iron. Golf, game, gather. Busy Beaver Tree Care. For exceptional tree services second to none, Busy Beaver Tree Care is your best option. We're a local, family-owned and operated business founded in 2003. We're not satisfied until you are. Waterside Financial Advisors is teaming up with the Guilford Vikings to bring you more than just a game. Get ready to shoot for your goals as they provide independent financial guidance for the life you want to live. Elevate your game both on and off the court with reliable financial guidance from Waterside Financial Advisors. Go Vikings! Tonight's game is presented by Brian Falk State Farm. Call Brian at 815-398-2552. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Rockford Lightning, Rockford's first semi-pro women's basketball team. Stay up to date on team news on their Instagram and Facebook feeds. Seiler Financial, our family helping your family. Listen to 1440 WROK every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for Navigating Retirement with Drew Seiler.
I think one of the special things about D1 is it's not about D1's goal. It's about your goal. Wherever you're at, whatever that goal is, maybe it's to make the high school team, maybe it's to lose 20 pounds, whatever it is, you show up, you tell us your goal, and let us help you get there. One of the themes at D1 is to level up. No matter where you are, our heart is to help you take the next step. What would be your goal? Why do you show up to train?
Personally, I would like to play football in college.
How can you get 1% better today?
Just beat the person next to me, be myself every day.
When you show up here, you have that mindset of, hey, I got a goal, I'm going to embrace the grind, and I would rather experience the pain of discipline than the pain of regret. So what is D1 5-star training? Number one, it starts with a dynamic warm-up. They're getting our body in the position, in the place we need it so that we can perform, which is number two. Because performance for an athlete is king. But our effort is 90% or more of whatever exercise we were doing. Number three is strength. Then we get to really get into the weight room and focus on the strength. And number four is core and conditioning. For me, conditioning is not a lot about what you can do. It's about that place that you're willing to go. You're willing to push yourself, and then we finish with a cool down. So that's our 5-star workout here at D1. We believe it's proven. We believe it works. We believe it'll also work for you. So don't be afraid of showing up, and let us help you take the next steps.
D1! Brian Botcher with Exit Realty. Whether you want to buy or sell, Brian works hard for his clients in Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin. Call 815-378-2170 today. D1 Training Rockford. Try their Rockford training facility for free. Call 815-569-5630 to learn more. Train different with D1. 9 Iron Belvedere. Enjoy a virtual golfing experience all winter long for solo practice sessions, business gatherings, or date night. 9 Iron. Golf, game, gather. Busy Beaver Tree Care. For exceptional tree services second to none, Busy Beaver Tree Care is your best option. We're a local, family-owned and operated business founded in 2003. We're not satisfied until you are. Waterside Financial Advisors is teaming up with the Guilford Vikings to bring you more than just a game. Get ready to shoot for your goals as they provide independent financial guidance for the life you want to live. Elevate your game both on and off the court with reliable financial guidance from Waterside Financial Advisors. Go Vikings! Tonight's game is presented by Brian Falk State Farm. Call Brian at 815-398-2552. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Rockford Lightning, Rockford's first semi-pro women's basketball team. Stay up to date on team news on their Instagram.
And we are back here at Mercy House Sports Court 2 in Loves Park, Illinois, for tonight's game between the Rockford Raptors FC and Indiana United FC in the United Women's Soccer League. Score is 1-0 in favor of Rockford Raptors. Brooke Parnello netted one in the 11th minute of the ball game. So we get set for second half action. Trevor Larson alongside Dirk Ruiz on tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media 815. Again, if you're interested in seeing highlights and pictures from tonight's game, we've got a good suite of them. Be sure to follow us on social media platforms at Clutch Sports 815. So Dirk, a very entertaining first half, just 1-0. You know, the game that was played, we might have been expecting a couple more goals, but I'm sure we're in due for an exciting second half of action as an aggressive play from midfield kicks us off.
That's your classic right there. Not enough loft on it to be able to make it a true threat. But, yeah, I mean, the first half had a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously, it's 1-0 in favor of Rockford, but you started to see, I had to hold my breath there for a moment. You start to see some glimpses of some good stuff really coming out there from both sides, and I think that we're going to be in for an interesting second half. We saw the physicality pick up a lot more on both ends, too. We do have to worry about that potential, the double of the yellows if there is a tackle coming up from catcher of Indiana United. She did get whistled for the foul that she had there on LePage. LePage ended up getting a talking to, so that's been a nice duel every time we've seen them clash.
And here in the second half of action, Indiana United moving left to right. They're in the white jerseys. Rockford moving right to left. They are in black. Seeing a lot of play at midfield. And, Dirk, we were talking at halftime. A lot of the play in the first portion of that first half was on the right wing. But as we transition more and more, it seemed like a lot of the counter-attacking opportunities and a lot of the in-swinging opportunities for both squads were played on the far side of the field. We'll see if that trend continues, where the play will now transition closer to us, or if we're going to see a lot more action on the far sideline.
Yeah, it was interesting, right, with the shift in transition, because it's not typically something that ends up happening.
A nice play by you over here in the broadcast
I thought there was
booth.
a camera down there. It was just a tripod, so I was trying to save the camera. That was my one intent. I know how expensive that technology is. But yeah, LePage is now taking a break, too. Obviously, she was the key piece over there on that right side. Over here on the left side, we'll be able to get a full glimpse. We're kind of looking from pretty far away over the course of that. So, of course, Hans back up top. That brings that physicality up there as a striker to where they had the more quick pace when they made that substitution there in the first half.
Good turn and run here for Indiana United. Another aggressive play from way outside the box that time. Shannon Catcher turned, took one touch, and tried to swing. Looks like she was aiming for that top right corner. So we get a little bit of sun peeking through the open garage door on the far side as she puts her hands up to shield the sun. We'll see if that plays in effect. Should only be a effect for a couple of minutes. Interesting to see if that has any.
It's being closed right on cue as you were talking about it.
There you go. But again, a gorgeous night it has turned into on the state line after a rain-soaked day. The sun has peeked through. Again, we're inside the beautiful Mercy Health Sports Court 2, this gorgeous indoor field, artificial turf, and a great ball game here on this Saturday evening for choosing to join us. Appreciate it so much. Again, if you want to see pictures from this game and some of the games that we did in the regular season for the NIC 10 and Big Northern Schools, variety of sports, of course. Be sure to follow us on social media platforms at Clutch Sports 815. So we get a turnover here for the Raptors. Anaya Schaefer now playing it back to Mackenzie Pierce. As the Raptors try to start off the first half on the front foot as they lead it 1-0.
It's little things like just being able to break out of a tight situation when they start to press, you just being able to swing it to your back line and give her a sense of relief. It almost like you get as hyped up as if you just like scored a goal or you ended up winning a massive duel there. So kind of the same intensity that we're seeing. We saw a couple chances come out from Indiana United to kick off the second half, but now starting to get back into that same rhythm and flow that we're seeing from the Raptors here in the first.
Harvey's going to get this one. She beats her defender off midfield. Looking to play this through. Good play at that time by number 17, Alyssa Dillinger, to step up and get that one back towards midfield, as now Indiana United has an opportunity to reset and try to drive the ball down the field to get some offense set up. And we're going to have a whistle here on the near sideline. Dirk a little bit touchy that time. Not quite sure if that was deserving of the whistle. That's how the refs saw it, however, on the field. So Raptors are going to take over with a free kick.
One of those instances that looks a lot worse than it actually is. We're just trying to shield by any means possible so you have the body on him. As soon as you see one arm end up going around, it's almost one of those situations whoever hits the ground first is going to end up getting the whistle.
Free kick being taken here from behind midfield. Good strong kick down down the left sideline. As this one is going to be kicked into the mixer. And Rockford's going to come away with it. Now they play it back, looking to set up their offense. Seen a variety of offensive tactics used by the Raptors. Parnella looking to drive this one into the box. Now trying to take her defender off the ball. Forced to play it back ultimately to Anaya Schaefer, who crosses this one in. And a light clearance, now cleared out further by Indiana United. Another opportunity here. Caesar has the ball in the right corner, crosses it in, and that one is gonna find the back of the net. Don't know if she was targeting the goal, but a goal for Isabella Caesar looking for the cross. Instead, it's gonna be 2-0 Rockford.
Yeah, that one, I mean, obviously the intention. First, I want to give credit to Han. Her first touch passing has been phenomenal. It's led to a lot of counters out there in the first half. She comes out here in the second half, does a little bit of the same. That one, I want to say it was definitely a cross. But it was just like one of those such tight angles where you're just trying to get a hard whip in there to where it makes things uncomfortable for the goalkeeper. You're trying to aim anywhere within that central 6-yard area, maybe over towards the penalty area. But, I mean, you've seen that even at the professional level sometimes. It's very hard to get a read of, right? Because when you're the goalie, you're maybe anticipating that's going to drop even closer to you. You mistime your jump, and you see situations like that. But you know what I say? Get it how you can get it. You score. It doesn't even matter if it was trying to be off a cross attempt. You scored a goal.
That's right. And a bit of an unusual goal as well. You know, Caesar tried to drill that one in on the in-swing with her right foot. And you could kind of tell that the goalkeeper was not expecting the ball to kind of curl back. She must have got it with the outside part of her foot just a touch. Either way, it's a great ball in, and it results in a goal for the Rockford Raptors. They're up 2-0. That second goal again coming by number 10, Isabella Caesar. Isabel Caesar. Here 5 minutes into the second half.
I mean, everything about that, the thing that's been so good with the Raptors here so far, seeing it highlighted in towards the central with Jada Harvey. Each time the ball's up in the air, they're doing a good job of remaining physical, but their first touch on the ball has been great to be able to try to settle some things. And it's where it all started with her, and then that first touch pass from Han is what ended up ultimately leading to the goal and the opportunity there for Caesar. Playing that little false nine striker role to perfection here for the Raptors.
Counter-attacking opportunity. Good defense by Indiana United to get their back line back. And a great play on the far side to ultimately get that one away, which allows for the clearance by Indiana United. More good pressure here by Rockford Raptors. And we're going to have physical play, and that's going to force the whistle to come. I don't think we're going to have a card, just a foul. So we got an Indiana United player down. A bit slow to get up. We'll get you a number here in just a moment.
Another light talking to going back there, too, as Caesar went to go reset. Just something, again, that we had mentioned with the yellow to number 3 for Indiana United. That was Morgan Catcher. She ended up getting that one. We haven't yet seen LePage get back into the game yet, but that's going to be another, right there on thin ice, both now with LePage and Caesar after the talking to's from the ref.
That was number 9, Simone Castaneda, went down for Indiana United. She's been playing the center back, the left center back position for Indiana United. She's able to get to her feet, going to stay in the game. Bad pass leading to a turnover here now. Rockford has it. Jada Harvey trying to dribble through the defense. It's kicked away, but the Raptors going to maintain possession. Here's Hahn now, and I think that one might have taken a deflection as Hahn tried to go on net. But again, nothing really too complicated that time for the Indiana United goalkeeper.
You're seeing a lot of 50-50s go away of Rockford, and it's just kind of the pressure that they have, the intensity that they're going with. It's a never-give-up mentality every single time that ball's in some open space. That's truly been the difference maker so far here in the second half.
Parnella has this one. Great pass back towards the
flow of the game, right? In terms of the people that we've been highlighting at the physicality, Parnell has definitely been one of the ones that have been up there leading it here for Rockford. But now he's got to be a little bit more cautious, right? Still a lot of game time left. Of course, she's a key piece to this team, so it's not somebody that you want to just continuously keep substituting in and out of the game.
Taken down from behind was Coughlin. No whistle that time. Rockford's trying to control this one at midfield. Hahn looking for a teammate. Ultimately gives that one away. Now Indiana has an opportunity to reset. And you're watching United Women's Soccer here on Clutchboards Media 815, brought to you by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry and Movement Fitness. As another good play that time by the defensive line to turn that one over for Indiana United.
Good swing coming back. They've had this a few times, so they haven't really opted to go for it, just taking as much space as they possibly can to try to get something going here on the counters. But it has been a lot of this, trying to force the ball up, hoping that somebody's going to be there to connect on it. And then now Rockford's just able to continuously kind of tee off with the small passes and keeping the possession. You're up 2-0, right? You don't want to just keep on going up and up every single time trying to send those long balls. But the hold-up play has been pretty good here so far.
Have a foul from behind that time. Morgan catcher is going to pick up that whistle. No card that time.
And there's the last warning coming in. I always like to keep track of this stuff.
So we're going to have another free kick opportunity for Brooke Parnello. Again, both times we've seen her take it, she has gone for goal. This time might be a little bit out of her range, but we were saying that last time, and she still tried for the net. We'll see if they try to have something more towards the goal here this time. Right off the hip of Shannon Catcher. That one could not have felt good. And they're going to try for a counter-attacking opportunity, but excellent speed that time by Mackenzie Alvarez to stop that opportunity. And now Rockford's going to take over.
See, that's the issue there too, right? So you have a lot of pressure on you. There's a free kick in your own half, but as soon as that ball gets away, that's where the sense of urgency to push some bodies up. They had 6 players back there on the defensemen. You had one just chasing the ball, so the press really non-existent, and that's the time where you just have to take those deep breaths, go out there, get the reset.
Good intercept, a ball that had just gone a little bit too wide. So turnover that time, unforced. Rockford's going to have this one in their own defensive end right near us. We get a good listen to the coach's instruction here from the sideline for the Rockford Raptors. And here on the near sideline, that one a bit of a push that time by Geneva Hahn, as she tried to win that ball back. Maybe a word or two from the head referee. Been a good physical battle here from both sides. Just a couple of yellows, all normal pace of play here for soccer between some great squads here this evening. Indiana United trying to set up an offensive opportunity, but cleared out by Alvarez. Stays a little bit down. And a turnover here for Rockford Raptors. There's a through ball. Tried to fix Parnello as the ball comes our way.
I was there.
Our producer getting in the mix.
As all equipment is safe here on the sideline.
So going to where the camera was, and I got really – I was about to say, that's a little fortress with the legs on the camera.
So cool action here. We're lucky that nothing was impacted.
First half we had nothing come our way. Second half already 2. Still a lot of time to go.
So after the excitement here on the sideline, Rockford has this one as Parnello's going to try to play this one down the right wing. An excellent ball there. Here's an opportunity for a cross for Rockford. This one thrown back to the middle. Good pace on it, but couldn't get outside the goalkeeper. Just able to take that one in on the near post. And Indiana with an opportunity to perhaps get something from this goal kick opportunity.
trying to utilize some of the height that they have up top here with sending that ball long. You can see just the height differential between Indiana United right there with catcher up top, and of course with the center back there from the Raptors, Alvarez. Almost got it, but Alvarez's timing in a lot of these situations where the ball's been up top trying to go for those steady clearance. So you already saw it kind of 2 for 2 and the opportunities that we've been seeing Indiana United get.
So we're going to have a substitution here for Indiana United. Amaris Gonzalez coming in for Morgan Catcher. And she picked up a foul. She is not the catcher with the yellow card. That is Shannon. One of the sisters comes in for another group of over Indiana United here in the Rockford Raptors home opener. And Indiana United's first game of the season. Had a slide tackle, that time by Jima Garabe. Able to get the ball, so no penalty, no foul. And we'll have a throw in here for Rockford. Nia Schaefer trying to put that one in. Rockford's going to take over. Indiana's going to take over on the turnover. Here's the run out, and I think there's a bit of miscommunication that time as Shannon Catcher let that one go through. Wonder if she was thinking there might have been someone coming down the left wing.
Yeah, it was a hard ball to contain, right, especially when you have your forward momentum going over towards the goal. But that's kind of been the MO from what we've been seeing so far. It's just let's hit the ball up. Let's see if there's going to be somebody there on the end. But that also is, right, when you're going on a counter, that's where your left side has to be more prepared to be able to be there for balls just like that.
And we're going to have an offsides call, the far side official. Haley Henry just got a little bit too far behind the back line. And Indiana United will have it. Emily Kovar coming off the left wing. Played more of a left wing back role here this evening, even though Indiana United has really set up in a more traditional 4 defensive backs, left back, right back, and center backs, but their wings have really been pushing the ball up the field here this evening, Kovar included, and she's had some great battles here tonight with Gracie LePage for Rockford Raptors.
Yeah, what you've been seeing is, again, the sweeper action that's been coming out from them that kind of allows the front three to play just a few more steps ahead to where you can have that, and you have the safety net of somebody being on the backside, but also does leave you vulnerable if they're able to get passes over top.
Mackenzie Perch tried to turn and fire a through ball. There's a great run through the middle of the defense. Almost led to an offensive opportunity. Nice play that time by Satali Perez to keep that one in. But not enough offensive players going forward on that touch. So it's going to be a turnover to Rockford. Now here a bad ball and a great play that time here on the right side. Number 17, Alyssa Dillinger, able to get that one off of the shins of the Raptors defender. And a turnover near midfield as we'll have a whistle.
I'd be really curious to, like what they're kind of setting up with in terms of a formation perspective. It almost seems like it's just a solo striker up top, and that's why you're seeing a lot of those instances where you don't have wing support coming from either side. It's kind of a stacked midfield. Think of it as left mid, 2 center mids, and then a right mid instead of them trying to go out there and play like the wings.
Another free kick opportunity here for Rockford Raptors. They've taken the bulk of them here this evening. They've had a goal come off of one of them in the first half by Brooke Parnello. Over the touchline and Indiana United ball. Some nifty footwork over there. The turnover at midfield once again. The Rockford Raptors midfielders just really hounding anyone that touches the ball. They're not keeping count, Dirk, but the number of turnovers that they forced here in this ball game, it really is reflected on the scoreline as they lead 2-0 here 20 minutes into the second half.
And you can see the idea with Indiana United, some of the passes that they're making, but it almost looks like they're putting a little bit too much and kind of going in blindly. Instead of kicking it with your head up, it's head down.
Almost a great scoring opportunity for Parnello. just wasn't able to control the bouncing ball. And good footwork that time by Gonzalez, as here they have an opportunity. But again, just too much speed that time by Mackenzie Alvarez, able to shield off. It's number 18, Shannon Carter. And that one is allowed to get into the goalkeeper's hands. You know, Dirk, we've seen a lot of those through balls try to come through the middle on the right side, but Mackenzie Alvarez, you know, she's really looked like one of the fastest, if not the fastest player on the pitch here this evening, as she has shut down just about every one of those long through ball opportunities here for Indiana United.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's being physical, you know, going in with the head, whether it's the foot to try to disrupt things, or seeing it even when it's up on the half-field line, when they start to get into more attacking opportunities when it's in the opposite 18 as well. It's shining a little bit more here in the second half compared to the first, but I also think that's just because Indiana United is getting a lot more opportunities. We're at least applying some pressure.
And have some more substitutions here for the Rockford Raptors. Looks like LePage is going to come back in here at the next available stoppage. Cross in and just wide that time. Good try out there by Shannon Catcher. But you can see that she's a little bit disappointed, getting up a little bit slowly, as I'm sure she wanted to curl that one back towards the front of the net. Instead, out behind the touchline. And again, we're going to have Elizabeth Magnone and Gracie LePage checking back in for the Rockford Raptors.
It's just when you get those angles, and we've seen that a few times over the course of the game. It's you don't get your body completely around the ball. Like by the time that you're hitting it, you're kind of like facing towards the near post, but your body has to be completely swung around if you want any chance of being able to whip that in. So, right idea, the execution just not there.
Some good pressure here by Indiana United, but Rockford Raptors able to break through. Coach and screaming from the sideline as they try to get that one out, and here's a great opportunity. And that one's going to go out, and it's going to be a goal kick. Brooke Parnella with great pace, but unable to get a shot off.
They've actually shifted her, so we've seen her at left back. We've now seen her in the middle as a more CM center defensive role. Now they're pushing her out over towards the right wing. It's just that little extra touch that she took, right? Just a little step ahead to where if you're a defender, you can get your body in front. Cool, like you have the force. If you hit me, you knock me over, we're going to get a free kick. We go back the other way. But the mindset to just try to shield him, it takes a lot without trying to foul somebody to be able to wrap yourself around and kick that ball in to try to force a corner kick.
So off the goal kick, here is a play by Indiana United. Ball coming towards the sideline. Some good physical play. Ultimately, Indiana United going to come away with it. As it's right in front of us. Good action. Amaris Gonzalez trying to get that one towards the center of the field. But more good play by the center backs of Rockford Raptors here this evening.
It's very fluid. Kind of like in that flow state that you want to see, especially when you have the lead, just being very open to playing out of the back. There's been this huge gap in the middle in this second half, and they've just been allowing way too much space to run. Somebody has to go out there, put a body, try to get in front of the play and disrupt things.
Trying to find LePage up the middle. She's got a player down towards midfield. That is number 17, Elizabeth Magnone. Let's see a whistle here at the next stoppage. Looks like they're going to play advantage here. Indiana United trying to set up for a cross. And that one's going to go out of the touchline. And looks like we will have a corner.
It's the first corner that we've seen from Indiana United? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 2 in the game for Rockford Raptors. The first one of the game here for Indiana United. Touched on it a little bit in that first half. Looks like they were definitely trying to play for a couple more corners than they have gotten here this evening. So we're going to have a couple more substitutions. Again, you're watching United Women's Soccer here on Clutch Sports Media 815. Brought to you by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry, and Movement Fitness. Again, Dirk Ruiz and Trevor Larson on the call here with you this evening. Could not be more thrilled to be bringing you United Women's Soccer here on the state line from beautiful Mercy Health Sports Court 2 here in Loves Park, Illinois on this fine June evening here early summer, even if the weather doesn't quite feel like summer.
I'm fine with that. It gets too hot sometimes.
So nothing really doing on the corner kick, the opportunity for Indiana United. It's more good defensive play by Rockford Raptors, as we have seen all evening. Really not a whole lot of scoring opportunity here through the first 25 minutes of the second half for Indiana United, as the defensive line for Rockford Raptors have really shut down every opportunity here in the second half. And an aggressive play from behind that time. We're going to have a foul. Goes against number 19, Alanis Gonzalez. No card, but another free kick opportunity here for Rockford.
See, that's what we were talking about, though. Like, you just saw the reset that they had there off the pass from the goalkeeper. Ended up just playing it slow out of the back. They're doing a good job of cutting out every angle to the wing. There's no play there, no way to distribute the ball, but there's just such an open hole in the middle. And every single time that they've ended up getting that, it has just been as simple as it truly gets, with like just being able to turn into space, right? That's always the key. Like, if you're going to give a pass up to the middle, make sure there's somebody behind to where they can't turn and get that angle. It's been a turn, it's been a dribble all the way up to half field. By then, there's still not somebody marking it.
Another aggressive free kick opportunity that went past the end line. And a goal kick opportunity. Here's LePage just absolutely hounding the defender, and she forces a turnover. Some fresh legs for Gracie LePage, picking up from where she left off in that first half. She just had perhaps the highest work rate in the entire game from both squads here this evening.
Yeah, if we had like foot mob ratings like they do with the professional side of things, I'd give like the ratings got to be pushing like 8.5, maybe higher. Those ratings can be pretty brutal, too, so 8.5 is crazy.
Yeah, well-deserved rest. She sat down for the first 25 and change in the second half. She played the bulk of the first half as well, as the Raptors trying to close this game down. So we got about 20 minutes left in tonight's ball game. Scoreline 2-0 in favor of Rockford Raptors. One goal coming in the first and second half, as LePage trying to get this one, still chasing, and Indiana United just forced to clear this one out, still not out of danger, and now they're able to get this one past midline.
And same idea that they've been kind of going with, and just allowing the ball to chase, getting themselves some little breaths, be able to get in a position to where you can just kind of hit the reset button. But each time that they've been in this, you're just seeing the composure coming out here from the Raptors, with a lot of this playing on the back line, getting the goalkeeper involved, allowing everybody to fan out. And this is one of the few times I think that we've honestly seen here in this entire half where they've been actually able to break out towards the left side, utilizing the left back in the wings.
Good touches here by the left back. Anaya Schaefer plays it back towards the middle. Aggressive play in the middle field that time by Garabe. We've seen her try to slide tackle multiple times here tonight. Been successful with a couple. Still not carded, so she has great timing instincts on those aggressive plays, as the cross opportunity is going to be blocked away down there by Kovar.
I think on some of them, they're kind of gambles going in. She got whistled for the foul on one of them. The second one, a little bit more of a whiff, but I think maybe something you just monitor, try to keep an eye on when somebody's being that aggressive with back-to-back slide tackles. And I wouldn't say being errant with them, because there's no cleats up. It's not like they're just swinging their legs in with that kind of ill intent, but you never know, right? You mistime something, that's when immediately the ref's going to look at that, think of a yellow, potentially even a red card in those type of scenarios.
Have another corner kick here. And Rockford's going to set up.
We've seen Parnello whip these in with a lot of velocity. I mean, any free kick that she's taking, it's getting a nice dip into it, too. Trying to make things a lot more chaotic inside the box. They don't have the size that maybe they had with Hahn up top. But they have brought up Nasgrant from the back line, too. We've seen her get a couple header clearances.
And swinging free kick is going to come towards the back line of the 18-yard box. That's a little bit too far, a little bit further than she was hoping. As a counter-attacking opportunity, here's catcher one-on-one towards midfield, and a great play again that time by Mackenzie Alvarez to win that one away from catcher. And Dirk, you're just looking at the size differential. Alvarez, she's playing that center back role. Traditionally, you're expecting those players to have a little bit more height on them.
Yeah.
But in comparison to catcher, who's kind of playing up for Indiana United, I think catcher may have 4 or 5 inches on her, but Alvarez has been excellent here this evening.
Pretty similar to what we ended up seeing in the first half when it was Gonzalez up top, and every single time that she was getting the ball, they're playing it to her feet, right? They weren't getting it to in rhythm, so it has to slow the play down. When you have a bigger striker up there, that ball absolutely has to be leading the charge, and they are chasing it. But it's been putting them in some sticky situations. Again, that was a 1-on-3 back there. There was no support from anywhere.
Great ball through to LePage. And she is going to be whistled for a foul. As some chirping here from the Indiana United coaching staff, as he has not been thrilled with the physical play by Gracie LePage. She's been mostly clean here. Good soccer play here this evening by her. Able to keep that one in. No, they're going to say that one is out over the touchline, so a throw-in opportunity here for Indiana United. Turnover here in the offensive zone. Threw a ball to LePage, looking for an angle. Ooh. And a dangerous tackle that time from behind by Castaneda. Luckily for her, she went to her knees. Dirk, I think if she ended up getting that foot out, that could have been another free kick opportunity, perhaps even a penalty, depending on where she was in relation to the box.
I think that would have been. I'm trying to get a little aerial view from where I'm at. I think it would have been. And, yeah, no, it was a good call. And I think that the right leg was about to swing around, and that definitely would have made collision with the player. And, of course, if you're a winger, you're a striker, you feel any contact in the box, you're immediately going to go down. But I like the little pull away there to almost look like a knee sliding celebration.
Parnello going to drill this one again in. Going to be an in-swinging ball here. This one a little bit higher towards the far post. Raptors do get ahead on it, but no real scoring opportunity that time.
You can see Naskrent's kind of the key player that they're looking for. Like I said, he's the tallest one that's out there, I think, in those set pieces when Han's not actually in the mix. And so where we've seen a lot of these whipped in with a lot of power. That was the first one I've actually seen float in. Probably the best connection, honestly, that we've seen from somebody coming in the box from the Raptors.
So more good aggressive play up top by Reese, as she is really trying to force a turnover here in the offensive end. We got about 10, maybe 15 minutes, depending on stoppage time, left here in the ball game. Indiana United needs to get something going here. They're going to try to tie this game up. As I say that, Magnone coming through. Plays it back towards the top of the box. A little false play that time by Parnello. Now looking to play it back. Cheeky back heel that time. Doesn't really work out. Are they going to say that was off of Indiana United? Yes, they are. So we're going to have another corner opportunity here for Rockford Raptors. Got a number of them here in the second half. Haven't put one home on those. But if you recall earlier in the second half, towards that area, Isabel Caesar did put one in from this side of the pitch. See if they've got something going here on this corner.
Yeah, I think you see the differential, right? So when we saw that one, yeah, that might have been more floated in. Usually it's kind of the opposite. When you're kicking it from the left side, you're right-footed, that's when you get a little bit more bend. But maybe since, there's no real opportunity for her to score off this or make a threat, the ball has to curve. Maybe put a little bit more velocity in here.
This one again going back post, but just out past the touchline.
I was about to say, just my luck. She beamed that in. I saw how close that was to the line of potentially floating it to the back corner.
So right opportunity, just a little bit too strong on the touch. And it's a great play that time by catcher. And now working on defense, Naskrent able to get that one. And Rockford, now we've seen some play out in the field, but we're going to say that one went over the touchline, so.
That's the best that we've seen the press look, too. At least like that time there was a small gap opening in the middle, but real game time and having the vision of you're getting two bodies pinned against all the way down towards your baseline. You just got to make that first instinctual play. I mean, best situation in that play is definitely just giving the corner kick. Let's reset. It could have been a lot worse.
So an in swung that time, left-footed. Ball comes to the feet of Indiana United. As we've got an opportunity here now for Rockford. And ultimately, it's going to be cleared out. A couple of aerial touches, and we're going to have a whistle. And looks like it's going to be a free kick opportunity here for Rockford Raptors. With a touch foul that time. And you're watching United Women's Soccer, the Rockford Raptors and Indiana United here on this beautiful Saturday evening. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry, and Movement Fitness. And scoreline 2-0 in favor of Rockford Raptors, 1 goal each by Isabel Caesar and Brooke Parnello. Caesar's coming in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Parnello's goal in the first half. As both teams trying to close out this game, Indiana United trying to put one in the back of the net. They have not had a lot of opportunities, but one developing here now. As this one is going to be drilled and out past the touchline. And Dirk, we're looking out here towards midfield. You're getting late in this ball game, perhaps 10 minutes, depending on the amount of stoppage time. You're seeing the center backs and wide backs for Indiana United not working quite as deep. As you can tell, some of the players are a bit tired here on the back line for both squads.
Well, surprisingly, a lot of this and going to the end of the second half is exactly how the first half ended up concluding, where it was just a lot of pressure from Indiana United. They had a lot more opportunities. Now we're seeing that here as we're reaching the final stretches of the game. There's more switches, too, I think, coming from the Raptors. I think they flip-flopped the wings now as well.
Gonzalez couldn't corral that one as it went out over the touchline, so it's going to be a throw-in for Rockford. She was able to head that one out. Rockford moving up ever so slightly on this next throw-in. That one goes over and played back towards the defense as pressure up top by Reese. Unable to win it, and now here's an opportunity for Indiana United, but that one's going to go towards the box. And an almost a great opportunity, but perhaps a little luck that time by Lorkowski, as I think she miscommunicated with her right center back. She was expecting that ball to come through to her. Instead, the center back played it off. And here's a cross opportunity heading towards Parnello from LePage. And still now Rockford with a great opportunity here in the offensive end. But Henry can't quite chase it down, so it'll go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, so one of those miscues there on the back end to where, one, if you're the goalkeeper, you're not shouting for it. Again, I think that was in that kind of strange area for us where we're trying to look to see where the 18 was. I think it was right on the edge, so that's why she's not being assertive, saying, hey, like, it's mine, it's mine. An option there, too, you could always try to go with. If you turn and you chest that back to the goalkeeper, they can pick it up in that scenario. But as soon as you take that first touch, you get the ball on the ground and you have that much pressure on you. I mean, I think even there, too, that's why the goalie, she went down with her feet instead of just going and collapsing and smothering on top of the ball. Maybe just because, it's a gray area sometimes. You never know what is going to end up being called in those scenarios.
Yeah, that's even an uncomfortable play at the professional level where a lot of times your defenseman will not chest it back to the goalkeeper. Either way, no harm, no foul for the Rockford Raptors. As now here's some high line pressure here for Indiana United. Enyart trying to push through. A little bit of a hip check that time, but they retain possession. High cross into the box, trying to control that time near the feet. And Just a little bit too high across that time. Good opportunity for Indiana United, but couldn't quite make anything out of it.
If they had this pressure maybe just earlier in the second half, I mean, you could maybe try to stamp it saying that a comeback could potentially be realistic, but it's going to be real tough to do going here down the stretch. But it's looked as best as they have offensively. I think for the Raptors, a big mistake that they're making is when they're getting the ball there on the defensive side, where they did the entire second half was a lot of quick passes, shuffling the ball around. It's now a lot of let me touch, let me try to possess and shield instead of making those quick passes and kind of getting that same rhythm and flow back.
That last play, shot on goal by Gracie LePage. Had good pace, but again, not really much of an opportunity. It was an easy play for the goalkeeper. Indiana trying to get something going here. 41 minutes down in the second half. Have a little bit for stoppage time, but they've got to get a goal here if they're going to tie this game up. That one's played to the foot of Harvey. He's able to clear that one out towards midfield. Here's LePage and Kovar again. This time, ball centered by LePage, and that one is kicked in that time. Interesting opportunity by Ava Reese. You get that one-touch turn and fire. It's always a little bit difficult to react for the goalkeeper, but in the same vein, it's always difficult to, find the net on those.
I play goalkeeper a lot. I say it's harder for the strike. A turnaround like shot, something in basketball you can master, and in the soccer world, not so much. Because you even saw, too, like it was a little bit of a struggle for the goalie. When she took that first step, she almost stumbled. I don't know if that was maybe just giving up on it. It's like, okay, I know this is going clear. Like, let me not just waste my efforts in diving to the ground. But could have been scary if it was on frame. You never know. That would have been as deep as possible into that lower left corner.
Here's Rockford now. Trying to play this one out, although the coach is still yelling at him, trying to push the ball downfield. It's a through ball wide to Parnello. Looking for a cross, tries to play this one around the defender, still keeps it, and we'll see who that touched, if it's Garibay or Parnello. And they're going to say that's going to be another corner kick for Rockford Raptors.
She put the pace on there. We saw her kind of do the same thing on the right side, got a heavy touch. This time she did the exact same move, but instead of just trying to chase the ball in a straight line, she actually wrapped around. Something a lot of people out there, if you watch a lot of Real Madrid, see Vinicius Jr. do that all the time, just trying to utilize the speed and put a body on somebody. And a lot more reward this time compared to the last time that we saw it.
Another in-swinging corner here goes towards the back post. Again, not a great scoring opportunity off the initial contact. There was a turn and fire, but well wide that time. And we've seen them try that a number of times here this evening. None have succeeded.
Naskaren has been involved. I think every corner that they've taken this half, she has been the one that's actually been putting the shot on target. The center back coming up and trying to get into the offensive fold.
A couple minutes left here in the ball game. 44 minutes on our clock. Again, no official clock, so we're not going to know how much stoppage time we have. It'll be up to the referee's discretion. The Rockford Raptors up 2-0 have been in control of this game, especially here in the second half. We have not really seen many opportunities here for Indiana United on the offensive side of things, as the defense has really proved to be the key difference in this matchup here for the Rockford Raptors. So they have just not allowed Indiana United to push the ball deep here this evening. Another opportunity here for Rockford. That one clanks off the metal here in Mercy Health Sports Score 2. So LePage sends that one high and wide.
Well, this is where you're content if you're Raptors right now. Like, they have the ball in this half. Second half is about to come to a close. You're up 2-0. Like, you allow them to take as much time as they want in their half. But they're still keeping the pressure up, though.
Here's Reese taking that one away, drilling that one off the defender. That one's going to go out off of Garibay.
Oh, goalie saved it.
Now they're going to say, yes, it did not go past the touchline. We're going to have 4 minutes of stoppage time per the referee. Still an opportunity here for Indiana United to get a little bit more offense. So they're trying to set up the long ball. Play it short to Bajano. Kicked away. It's a good play here in the second half of action and stoppage time. You're leading 2-0. You just want to waste some time here on defense and on offense if you're Rockford.
And this is where, if you're Indiana United too, you have to start to take a lot more risk of. Usually when you see teams down by this much, it's a lot of just having one person back, the rest of the players play up, and you're kind of just swinging the ball in every time, hoping that somebody can end up getting a touch for it. It's not time to make these, full-on calculated plays, work the tiki-taka, work through the middle, try to get the through ball. Like, you have to just send it and hope that somebody can get on the end of it.
Here's a through ball down the middle of the field, an opportunity, and a great play that time coming up on the ball, disallowing the scoring opportunity. One of the better plays we've seen this evening.
Yeah, Pietro's on the other side as a goalkeeper. She's been put into some awkward one-on-one scenarios, right? And the one thing you never want to do as a goalkeeper is second-guess yourself by any means necessary. So as soon as she started going out there, they had the intent of getting the ball. And if it caused a three-person collision, they end up living with that result.
Still an opportunity here for Rockford Raptors. It looks like a couple players' heads got tangled up that time. Reese went down to the ground for just a moment. She pops back up. Those aerial balls, they're always a point of contention. You're trying to push the ball forward, but so are some of the other players. So that's why headers are one of the key one of the key things that you can master if you're going to be playing at this level. If you're good at heading the ball out of the air, usually means you're a pretty good soccer player.
I was about to say, you got to be good with your feet. That's the whole reason you're even in this spot.
There's a big-time shot, and that one just wide, going towards the bottom left corner. What a great shot that time, just a little bit wide. We wind down the game here, just a couple more minutes of stoppage time here. Again, Rockford Raptors leading 2-0. Referee signal for 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're 2.5 in. Likely won't be getting much extension beyond that, given the score line.
And there you have it.
And they're going to blow it early. So after the full 90 minutes, Rockford Raptors 2, Indiana United nothing. Dirk, a great game all around for the home opener. It's their second game of the season. Started off a little bit rough in that first half, especially on defense, but you could really tell as time went on. They really locked down. Those center backs played fantastic, and a couple of goals, one each by Brooke Parnello, one by Isabel Caesar. But a good game all around for the Rockford Raptors tonight.
Yeah, I mean, coming in off this one, beat Edgewater 2-1. You come out here, you score the same amount of goals, but you keep the clean sheet. I think that's always key. Just shows how much of a brick wall your defense was, because even when you're looking from a perspective of shots on target, I don't think there was one that classified really as a shot on target. A lot of the attempts ended up sailing, kind of just wide of the goal, going over top of the goal there as well. But really just a way more put-together performance on one side. And, it's kind of unfortunate, right, because Indiana United in both halves, towards those final, 15 minutes, they were picking them apart. They had the ball in their half, and every single time, they were crossing it in, almost getting a foot on it, almost getting those opportunities, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. For them, for the Raptors, it was kind of clinical in a sense with the way that they were to play through the middle. I think that was the big key to this game. If they didn't have that middle presence and being able to knock the ball around they had, I know that we, of course, Parnello kind of getting our MVP nod kind of at the game. I think Hahn, too, her one-touch passing opened up many, many opportunities going forward.
So that'll be our player of the game, number 8, Brooke Parnello. She got the first goal of the game, coming off a free kick opportunity outside the 18-yard box. Again, she scored in the first half. Isabel Caesar scored in the second half. Again, final score here this evening, Rockford Raptors 2, Indiana United 0. You've been watching Clutch Sports Media 815, a presentation of the United Women's Soccer League, presented by Ortho Illinois, Sam's on Harlem, More Dentistry, and Movement Fitness. For Dirk Ruiz, I have been Trevor Larson. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening's broadcast. Have a great night, stay safe, and be sure to follow us on social media to see where we'll be next.